everyone, this is Jane, and this is my healthy habit number 24. Now this one is all about fasting. Now this might be something that you have not been able to wrap your head around. Maybe you've heard about intermittent fasting. It's kind of gotten a big buzz these last few years. And maybe you just think, fasting is not for me. I don't like to skip meals. I love eating way too much. I don't like the way I feel when I don't eat. So there are some guidelines around fasting, and it definitely takes educating yourself, knowing your own body, and then there are some instances where you shouldn't fast. If you're a diabetic, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you have hypoglycemia, if you have some issues, health issues, you should definitely look into fasting with the help of a professional. And there are fasting clinics, there's fasting retreats, there is all kinds of things that you can even do on your own to educate yourself, because this is something that you should do with extreme knowledge and care, because you get a lot of benefits from fasting, but it's not one of the easiest habits to just say, oh, okay, I'm gonna fast and I'm not gonna eat for 10 days. It just doesn't work that way, because our bodies are so toxic for the most part that when you stop eating and even you do intermittent fasting, your body starts dumping toxins, because it's like, oh, I don't have to digest and process and eliminate food and spend all of my physical energy doing that with all of your organ systems, but now I can release toxins. And it can actually be dangerous if you are just going to jump into water fasting without knowledge, preparation, knowing your own body, knowing what your body needs. So that is my first disclaimer for fasting, is that you really have to know what you're doing, and you really have to know your body. Now, one of the things I love about fasting, especially intermittent fasting, is the way I feel. I have so much energy, physical energy and mental clarity when I fast. And intermittent fasting is the easiest way for most people to start, because you literally have a window, say from noon until 6, that's when you eat. And you eat really strategically. You eat really healthy. It gives you a different type of outlook on the food that you're eating, instead of just, oh, there's some food, I'm going to eat it, I'm going to snack, there's donuts in the office. We eat so unconsciously that when you add intermittent fasting into your schedule, it makes you more aware of the foods that you eat, the foods that are around you, and just the constant snacking that we do as modern humans. And it lets your body repair during that time. So that is actually one of the things that I love best about intermittent fasting, is that I have crazy good energy when I'm fasting, and then I have this window, this short window, and you can make your window bigger in the beginning. You can start at, say, 10 o'clock and end it at 10 o'clock in the morning and end it like at 7. So do some research on intermittent fasting, and then as you go and you start getting used to going these periods without food, shorten your window and leave your eating window open till, like, say, 7 at the latest, because then by the time you go to bed, you'll have a couple of hours where your food has been digested, and you're going to go to sleep without a big full stomach, where it's going to mess up your sleep patterns, because now your body, instead of trying to get to sleep and repair, it is going to now go to work digesting and processing and eliminating your food. So there are many, many different fasting that you can do besides the intermittent, and the benefits. So one of the things that I really love is juice fasting. In fact, every year, I try to do this a couple times a year, I'll do a 7 to 10 day juice fast. And this is fresh juicing that I do myself. I do mostly greens and vegetables, things like celery, carrots, cucumbers, beets. I love kale and chard and spinach. And then I'll throw in like an apple, a lemon, a little square of ginger root, a little cut of ginger root. And I have this favorite recipe that I make. And I will tell you, I'm a little bit sad sometimes when it's time to end a juice fast, because my energy levels, my mental clarity, and my sleeping is so good that it's a little bit sad, and I feel so good. And fasting is also a really nice way to control your weight. It's not like you're giving yourself a crash and you're messing up your metabolism. You're literally giving your body a break so that it can heal. And for adults who are type 2 diabetes, this is a really good way to normalize your insulin levels. And also fasting is a really good way to lower your bad cholesterol. And it's just a simple fasting, abstaining from food. You can also do bone broth fasts, which I've done and I love. There's, especially if I'm going to do a fast in the winter, because you've got warm bone broth, it's very nourishing, and it makes you, it's comforting, it gives you a lot, it actually gives you a lot of nutrients, but it keeps you in a fasted state. Now there's also another interesting fast called the Daniel fast, and this is based on the Daniel from the Bible, and it's a 21-day fast where you basically just eat all vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, like whole foods, and all plant-based. You abstain from meat, you abstain from dairy, alcohol, sugar, and so basically for 21 days, you just eat really, really clean. And for a lot of people, that's a really great place to start, is start with the Daniel fast, where you give yourself this period of time where you are only eating really, really close to nature and really, really clean. And that's a really nice way to get started on the fasting train. And then as you go and as you start to add intermittent fasting, juice fasting, then you can add like a 5 to 7 day water fast. And then this does a really beautiful thing for your body. It puts it into a state called autophagy, which is basically cancer cell death. So when you get these long breaks from food and you have the, you know your body's in a healthy state to be able to handle that, and you can actually supplement with some electrolytes and things that aren't going to mess up your fasting state, but it's going to keep your energy levels so that you can, you can still work and you can still, I exercise. I still do almost everything I do normally during my day. I do it while I'm water fasting. And my goal is to do this once every quarter, so that every 3 months I do it's typically 5 days for me, a 5-day water fast. And I will tell you, I feel like it resets everything. It resets my metabolism. I have wonderful sleep. My skin rejuvenates, and everything about all the systems of my body, I can literally feel them thanking me for the break, for the rejuvenation. And it's just a really nice rhythm to get into, but it does take a mindset. You have to kind of get in the mindset. You have to let your spouse know. I always tell my husband, okay, I'm going to do a fast from this day to this day, so that he can prepare. So he doesn't, make plans for dinner with friends or even dinner with me. He knows he's going to be on his own, doing his own thing for the days that I'm fasting. So you kind of have to prepare the people in your household too. This is not something that you get angry about if someone in your household doesn't do it with you. This is a very individual journey with fasting, but it will literally change the game in how fast you can take care of your health, improve health issues that you might have going on. And there's actually a book. I'm going to put this in the show notes underneath this video. This book is by Dr. Jason Fung and Jimmy Moore, and it's called The Complete Guide to Fasting. And that is a really, really nice way for you to get yourself educated, read about their stories. They're very inspirational, motivational, and wrap your head around the idea of giving your body a break from food. I'd love to know what you think about this, because this to me has been gaining some momentum the last few years, as people are realizing that as modern humans, we typically start eating from the moment we get up until the moment we go to bed. It used to be one of my habits right before I went to bed. This was probably in my 20s and early 30s, where I would eat a bowl of cereal with, pour milk on it and a bowl of cereal, and it didn't really matter if it was sweetened cereal. But that was a habit that I did for a long, long time. And I know people who still do that. And you're literally going to bed on a full stomach, and your body can't go into repair mode. It goes into digestion mode. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you think about this, because to me, this is one of those habits that can really, really shift you. And you really can start with baby steps. It's not something that you can just jump into. And like I said, really know your body, know your health conditions, know the things that you have going on that you should pay attention to before you jump into this habit. So I hope you have a beautiful day. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you're liking this content, and we'll see you in the next one.